The New York Rangers have re-signed their second of 3 RFAs so far this offseason, this time being defenseman Braden Schneider, who comes back to the Rangers on a 2-year deal worth $2.2 million per season. I think this is a very good contract for the Rangers here. A little cheaper than what I initially kind of thought he could possibly get, but a very good contract here. The term is pretty much exactly what I figured as well. 2-year deal makes a lot of sense for a guy like Schneider, who is still, very young, developing. Hopefully, take a step for his sake and the Rangers' sake, a big step in the next couple of seasons here. Hopefully for him, obviously get a massive payday, but also for the Rangers there to end up getting a very solid top 4 caliber defenseman, which I think he already is, but he's still developing. He's still very young. I mean, he's still only 22 years old, turning 23 in September. He's still very young. Big 6'3", 208-pound defenseman there. Right-handed shot guy as well, which is important. Righties are a little tougher to come by sometimes. So I think having a guy like this on this team locked up for the next 2 years here and possibly going forward as well, eventually could get a massive contract, would be a great situation for the Rangers here and definitely is a big part of this decor going forward into the future. And with Schneider's $2.2 million per season going on the books, it now leaves the Rangers with $5.123 million in cap space available right now to re-sign Ryan Lindgren, who did file for arbitration. So those hearings happen between July 20th and August 4th. So the next 2 or 3 weeks or so, we'll end up finding out how much Lindgren's next contract is going to be. Like I said, it's going to an arbiter there, so we don't know exactly what's going to happen there. They'll obviously have to decide that and kind of what his next deal is going to be. But my guess is something slightly less than $4 million per season, probably on a somewhat short-term deal, I'd imagine, but we don't know exactly kind of what it's going to be. But that's a fair contract. His previous deal was a 3-year deal with a $3 million cap hit per season. So a little more than that, obviously, is probably what he's going to get there. Something around that kind of 3.7 to kind of 4 million mark is kind of like what I'm imagining for his next contract here, but we'll have to wait and see in the next couple weeks here to find out exactly what he ends up getting. And of course, I'll have a video covering that once it ends up coming out because I post every single day. So if you are a Rangers fan, this is the exact place to be. Definitely hit that like and subscribe button if you are a Rangers fan. But carrying on here though, and taking a look, I think going forward, Schneider is a guy who has a decent amount of upside, definitely can get quite a bit better. I don't think he's near a finished product yet. Like I said, 22 years old, he's still young, still developing, and I think already is a solid kind of number 4 kind of guy, top 4 caliber defenseman, and him playing alongside a guy like Keandre Miller on that second pair is kind of what I'm hoping to see for this upcoming season. I think they complement each other quite well. You have a guy in Schneider who's that big, tough, physical guy who's a good defensive guy and has no right offensive game moments and a good puck mover. On the left side there, you have a bit more of an offensive guy on Keandre Miller, also tall, but doesn't play quite as physical as a guy like Schneider does, but I think they kind of complement each other quite well, so that could be a very good young D pair going forward in the future as well, not just for this upcoming season, but going forward as well. If they have good chemistry, they could be a great second pair for the long term, which is quite nice. Having a D pair who consistently plays together, gets some good chemistry is not a bad idea at all. And I do think this past season, Braden Schneider played quite good in the regular season and in the playoffs, but some of his best hockey was when he was playing alongside Keandre Miller, and they played very good together, so hopefully we do see that going forward. But overall, Schneider played good defensively, I think, for the most part there. He's solid, reliable defenseman. He's a good puck mover who's very tough, physical, can fight, he can block shots, he hits, he can kill penalties. He can do a lot of good stuff for this Rangers team and definitely provides a lot of that physicality and toughness that we know this squad needs more of. Ideally, we could sign another guy or two who kind of brings some of that toughness, but he's definitely one of those players on this team who brings that physicality that we know, because some players on this Rangers team are a little soft, but a guy like Schneider there, especially paired alongside a guy who Keandre Miller, yes, he's very tall, but doesn't play that physical side there. I think that could be a very good kind of 1-2 punch there. They seem like they kind of complement each other quite well, so that could be a good D pair there. But Schneider alone, he's a very solid defensive defenseman there, and hopefully his offensive game can take a little bit of a step forward. He's got a pretty good shot there, decent passing, good vision. So I think for the most part, if he can take a step up in his offensive game as well and become, a 25-point kind of guy, that would be pretty great to see. But either way, he's going to be a very solid defensive defenseman who can bring all that physicality stuff, but also possibly kill penalties, which would be a great thing going forward, and as he continues to develop into a very solid top 4 caliber defenseman. And taking a look here at some of the advanced stats of when Keandre Miller and Braden Schneider were playing together throughout this regular season as well in the playoffs, but Starting off with the regular season numbers here, they ended up having a total of 272 minutes played together over 54 games and had 15 goals for, 13 against, which is not too bad. A goals for per 60 minutes of 3.31 and a goals against per 60 minutes of 2.87. So defensively, weren't amazing, but definitely weren't too bad. Offensively, were quite good though. But then you take a look at kind of what they did throughout the playoffs there together. They ended up being kind of the opposite there, being quite a bit better defensively, but not as good offensively, as they ended up having a total of 172.1 minutes played together over 15 games, 4 goals for, 7 against, but for goals for per 60 minutes, had a 1.39, which is just slightly better than what Fox and Lindgren did, so not too bad there, but the goals against per 60 was quite good at a 2.44. So defensively, they were very good in the playoffs there. Offensively, still did better than Lindgren and Fox together as a combo, so that's not too bad. I think they are a good D pair, young guys as well. Both Kendrick Miller and Braden Schneider are young, big defensemen, still developing and continuing to get better as well. I think they could be a great second D pair for this Rangers team. Now taking a look, though, at Braden Schneider's stats here. He ended up having a pretty good regular season, though, like I said, but obviously he's not some crazy offensive defenseman there, so the numbers aren't too insane. He ended up having a total of 82 games played, 5 goals, 14 assists, 19 total points, had 95 shots, averaging 15 minutes and 54 seconds per night, but had 133 block shots, which is a career high, alongside a career high of hits, which was 167 there. He also had a career high in assists and points, so not a bad season at all from Schneider there. Took a bit of a step up in most categories and looked like a better all-around defenseman, in my opinion, than what he was back in 2022-2023. And finally, taking a look at the playoff stats here, this past season, he ended up having 16 games played, 2 assists, 2 points, 15 shots, averaging 17 minutes and 32 seconds per night, while having 34 block shots and 32 hits. Overall, I think he had a pretty great playoff run there, played pretty good, a good regular season there, played pretty good overall this season, but definitely is a guy to look forward to in the future because he's still only 22 years old and is definitely still developing. Anyways, though, let me know in the comment section down below, are you happy with a 2-year deal with a $2.2 million cap hit for Braden Schneider? Personally, I think that's a very fair contract. Let me know your thoughts on Braden Schneider and on Lindgren's next deal as well. And don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for daily New York Rangers content. I post every single day. So if you are a Rangers fan, there's no better place to be on YouTube than this channel. Hit that like and subscribe button for daily New York Rangers content. I'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching. See ya.